I think in the end, usually the process is you work on the character, then you build the story and the narrative problems the character's going to work on, and then you go back and work on the character some more. And as the process unfolds and the shooting, it seems like to me you're always working on the character. But I believe my films are almost always about characters, but I have a different definition. Most people think of character as being some kind of psychological profile. I think it's a response to situations. It's who you are, what your moral values are, what are the codes that you live by. That's what interests me about character. The idea of the where he stood vis-a-vis the cop was always pretty well understood. We fixed the dialogue, but there was a exactly where to hit the tone with the situation with the daughter always seemed to be very difficult for us to get right. The location is a location that I used in the first film, the one with Charles Bronson, where Charles Bronson fights the bald-headed man. It's about halfway through the picture. And the reason I kept saying I wanted a set like that one that I used in Hard Times. I need a place like that, and we kept looking and looking, and I'd say, no, it's got to be more like that one. And then finally somebody said, well, why don't we use that one? And I said, is it still there? This was 30 years ago. And they said, oh yeah, it's just, right up over the river there. So we went over there, and I thought, yeah, why not? It's a good set, and it's rather evocative and moody, and oh, well, there's a fight in Streets of Fire. There was a fight with sledgehammers, and towards the end of the movie between Michael Pare and Willem Dafoe, and this is reminiscent of that. And I plead guilty, and I'd say again, directors only know 2 or 3 stories. They just keep trying to figure out how to do it better or how to do it a little different. It either indicates that it's very personal to me, or it indicates poverty of imagination. Referred to as an action movie, I think is a very different animal than what we used to make in the 70s and 80s. They are, this sounds pejorative, I don't mean it to be, they are artificial in ways that are very different than the old style. That is to say, they're really more science fiction fantasies than they are what I usually call the Homeric ideal, that is to say, more realistic. Whereas the kind of films that I'm comfortable with, my rule is you hopefully the jokes are funny, but the bullets are real. That is to say that these guys, they are flesh and blood, and they do bleed, and they take chances, and sometimes they pay the consequences.